Thomas, welcome to the Leanpub launch video for Architect the Agent, the CCAR-F certification guide, a complete study guide for the Claude Certified Architect Foundations exam. I was wondering if you could take a moment to talk to all of us a little bit about yourself and what you do and what your book is about and who it's for.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks, Lynn, for having me back here today. It's always my pleasure to be on the podcast over here. My name is Thomas Vos. I'm the director at HCLTech at the AI Labs out of London. I lead our AI work in global financial services and also telecommunication. It's a good 11 years ago, I started building AI systems. Started off with the traditional kind of machine learning and traditional kind of artificial intelligence. Now moved to agentic and generative AI. But I got about 25 years on experience on shipping software. And in the last stretch of that has been one thing on repeat, taking a Claude kind of POC that impressed everybody because we have vibe coding tools at our hands, right? From a demo, and I'm figuring it out why it fell apart against the real production load, right? The book is called Architect the Agent. It's a complete study guide for the Claude Certified Architect Foundations exam, and which is Anthropic's first official technical certification. They have now an additional kind of three certifications recently launched as well. And I want to make one thing very clear. This book is quite independent. It's not published or endorsed by Anthropic. It's a study guide I wished that existed when the exam came out a couple of months ago. So what makes the exam worth, I think, a book, right? Because not all exams, I mean, require an entire book. Is that it's not a recall exam. It's not that you can simply kind of learn and remember and recall. It doesn't ask you about kind of reciting the maximum context window of a certain AI model. It doesn't do that. It drops you into a system that's really at trouble, that perhaps maybe hasn't been architected correctly, and asks for you what the right call is. That rewards a completely different type of preparation. And that's what the book teaches. It's about judgment, right, under the particular circumstances. So the book is for solutions architects and lead engineers with, I would say, a good 6 months, maybe a bit longer, of actual hands-on experience, right, of on Claude, that is, yeah. Who wants a badge, and honestly, for anyone who wants to close the architectural gap, whether they ever sit the exam or not, right? Passing the scenario questions and making the right call in a design review, you kind of turn out, has to be that skill that you want to build in and you want to see as well, and you want to feel. And that's what I hopefully have added to kind of the book through visualizations.
You mentioned in the book description that the exam tests whether you can make the right architectural call under pressure. And I'm curious, not having taken the exam myself and not even being a programmer myself, what is the scenario? What scenario are you actually in where you're under pressure? I mean, other than the kind of ordinary pressure of an exam.
Yeah, so the exam number itself is 60 questions, it's 120 minutes. So that gives you more or less 2 minutes, right, for every question. And you need to have a reasonably high passing score, and it's about 720 out of 1,000. So and there are typically kind of four scenarios, but where the pressure comes from the time limitation. Yes, the nice part of the exam is you can strike out anything that you categorically think of it's incorrect, right? But then going back after the questions itself are very lengthy in the setup. There are a lot of distractors as well that feels like they're correct, but then you need to eliminate it further, and remove kind of, let's say, that distracting element out of it. So that's where the pressure comes from. 2 minutes is very little time for a very lengthy question with a lot of distractors in there.
Well, thanks very much for that description. That sounds like a difficult exam, but as you say, also, the book would be great for anybody who's interested in being kind of like really on the cutting edge on this kind of thing, which is just so new. The book is Architect the Agent, the CCAR-F certification guide, a complete study guide for the Claude Certified Architect Foundations exam. So thank you very much, Thomas, for taking the time to do this video today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Len. And yeah, I believe Leanpub is absolutely an amazing platform, right? You guys are doing a brilliant job. I know you've got an entire team working there alongside with yourself, and constantly kind of revamping the platform itself, constantly kind of making sure that both readers and authors have an environment and a platform where we both can grow on. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.